the scandals aren't dying down for Justin Trudeau.
No, they're picking up.
Yeah, they're accelerating.
Like, as if that was even possible because they have so many already. They're just not slowing down. We aren't going to sugarcoat this one just because of how asinine it is. Justin Trudeau's Liberals opened a safe injection site less than 200 yards away from an elementary school.
So, yeah, let's take a look. This is an article that was written in the National Post, and it's entitled, "A Safe Injection Site in a Trudeau Minister's Riding Has Become a Political Football. Residents feel ignored by politicians, and the ones that are responding are basically just gaslighting us," they say. No kidding.
Ottawa. A new injection and inhalation center near a Montreal elementary school is angering parents, business owners, and residents who want it closed, but the federal government and the province aren't backing down. For Andre Lambert, who moved to St. Henri 15 years ago, it's ruining a calm and close-knit community. Quote, "That changed drastically since the Maison Benoit Labor Center has been actually opened," he said. Since April, the center has provided a safe consumption center, 36 transitional apartments, food, clothing, and a place to rest. The project required authorization from Health Canada and is carried out at the provincial level in collaboration with municipal authorities. The center is located 200 meters from Lambert's property, across the street from the Atwater Market, and near the La Chine Canal National Historic Site in the heart of Immigration Minister Mark Miller's riding. More alarmingly to the residents, it is located 180 meters from the Victor Rousselot Elementary School. Quote, "It's the children who suffer," end quote, says Chantal Gagnon, a member of the Victor Rousselot Coalition, who represents dozens of residents, businesses, and parents. Ms. Gagnon is also a member of the school's governing board. Quote, "Today our children are being yelled at. We are hypervigilant. Children are being asked for money. We are talking about children aged 4 to 12 years old," end quote, says Gagnon. The coalition has listed tens of incidents since the opening of the center in April, such as needles in a playground, public nudity, awkward interactions between children and homeless people, an increase in homelessness, multiple police and paramedic interventions, and a growing fear within the community. The Montreal Police Service declined to provide a history of calls or interventions linked to the center for quote-unquote confidentiality reasons. Jean Ouimet, the Deputy General Manager of the Centre de Services Scolaires de Montréal, said in a statement that more than 40 incidents related to the center occurred at the elementary school since it opened. Ouimet did not specify the nature of those incidents. Quote, "This brings a change to the daily lives of staff already involved and in demand," end quote, wrote Ouimet. Supporters of the project are delighted that the center has lifted 36 people out of homelessness. The general manager for the Maison Benoit Labor wasn't available for an interview, but has recently acknowledged, quote, "There are going to be events and there's going to be adaptation for everyone," end quote. Quote, "But we all need to kind of work together through this," end quote, Adrienne Desoleil told the Montreal Gazette in May.
The coalition of residents claims the center was established without the requisite impact studies and now wants politicians to get involved directly. For instance, Lambert and Gagnon met with Mark Miller, their local MP and federal cabinet minister. Quote, "He seemed receptive to the plight, I guess, at the issues that we're having. But whether something happens, that's left to be seen," end quote, said Lambert. They feel ignored by politicians and, quote, "the ones that are responding are basically just gaslighting us," end quote, said Lambert. Mr. Miller's office said in an email that he, quote, "will keep engaging with his constituents, listen to their concerns, and relay them accordingly," end quote. On June 17th, the coalition sent a letter to the provincial social services minister, Lionel Carmant, and a few federal cabinet ministers, including Miller, in which they demanded, quote, immediate retraction of the exemption to operate a supervised drug consumption center, end quote. Carmont's office said he intends to respond to the residents promptly. Quote, this file really is high priority to us, and it will remain so until cohesion in the neighborhood is ensured in the long term, end quote, said Lambert Drainville, Carmont's press secretary. The Office of Minister of Mental Health and Addictions, Yara Sachs, said in a statement that, quote, all safe consumption sites are required to have processes in place for ongoing community engagement and to take appropriate mitigation measures to address any concerns, especially regarding public safety, end quote. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre sent a letter to Minister of Health Mark Holland asking him to get involved in this. On Friday, the Conservative Quebec Lieutenant Pierre-Paul Housse said his party promises to, quote, revoke the exemption granted by Justin Trudeau to the supervised injection site in Montreal and bring back safe, drug-free streets where children and families don't have to fear for their safety, end quote. There aren't any laws or regulations in Quebec that prevent a supervised injection service from setting up near a school. Meanwhile, the Société Québécoise du Cannabis, which is the only legal cannabis retailer in the province, cannot do business within 250 meters of a school. The Quebec government is looking into this and might change the regulation to better protect kids. Quote, if something happens to one child, every politician will be responsible. All of them, end quote, said Gagnon. Health Canada has authorized 38 consumption sites in the country. The Maison Benoit Labour Centre is one of the closest to a school at 180 meters. In Toronto, a few sites are within 200 meters of schools, including the South Riverdale Community Health Centre near Moore Street Junior Public School. So, a couple things.
You know, as a parent, that's just, like, I don't even know if I have a strong enough word. Maddening, enraging.
Infuriating.
Yeah, that's a good word.
So they open this thing 180 yards away from a school. And they have incidents of public nudity. These people hounding 4-year-olds to 12-year-olds for money. They're finding, oh, where's my shocked face? Needles everywhere. And there's been over 40 incidents related to the elementary school because of this safe injection site. And the response from these people,
from these politicians,
and the people that support this thing, is, well, there's going to be an adjustment period and everyone's just going to have to adapt.
That's gross. Like,
no.
Sorry. I'm tired of our politicians putting drug addicts ahead of our children. Like, why do they have more rights than our kids?
Well, this is the thing with the left, the far left, is they take a very small subset of the population and they say, you know what, your rights are going to trump everybody else's. And it doesn't make any sense. Not in a democracy.
What's that thing they said in Animal Farm? All of the animals are equal, but some are more equal than others?
Yeah, exactly. So, good on the community for establishing a coalition. It's ridiculous that you have to establish a coalition. It's ridiculous that they actually have to have an argument that maybe you shouldn't have a safe injection site at all, but maybe you shouldn't have a safe injection site within easy walking distance of a bloody school.
Of an elementary school at that. Like, just small kids, you know? Like, I can't wrap my brain around this. Why they think this is okay.
And then we hear that there's a bunch in Toronto near schools. So yeah, this is the Liberals, everybody. So it's no wonder that a lot of the Liberal caucus has had enough, and are actively saying that we need a change and we need to be less far left. So there's another article that we're going to touch on just a bit. in the Toronto Star. And it says, insiders say MPs turned up the pressure on Justin Trudeau during a private call. Quote, some of your key players need to go.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was pushed to make serious changes to rescue the Liberals' political prospects during a call with regional chairs from the party's parliamentary caucus on Tuesday, according to two sources with knowledge of the conversation. According to one, Trudeau was pressed on whether he should resign the Liberal leadership during the call, but the main message was the need for a significant overhaul after the governing party's stunning by-election defeat last month to the Conservatives in the longtime Liberal stronghold of Toronto St. Paul's. The politicians addressed the desire for a cabinet shuffle as one of the changes Trudeau could make, the source said, describing how the Prime Minister was told, quote, you need to make change and some of your key players need to go, end quote.
A second source did not provide specific examples of what was discussed, saying there wasn't a completely unanimous message. However, that individual agreed the overall thrust of the conversation was there is a, quote, desire from his caucus to see change in some form, end quote, after the by-election loss. Quote, ultimately, that change is either going to come in leadership change or it has to come in some other form. And the question that remains open is, what form is that? End quote, said the second source. Quote, the ball is in the Prime Minister's court to figure out what that next move is. If this is a chess game, it's over to the Prime Minister, and what he chooses or chooses not to do in the days ahead will dictate the response of caucus. End quote. So this isn't going away. And I think Tanya came across a report that Brenda Shanahan, who's actually responsible for, scheduling these things, she's decided, there's not going to be a caucus meeting.
But that's just such a slap in the face to all of those Liberal MPs. I mean, you can feel bad or not feel bad, but the way that this is supposed to work is that the leader is supposed to listen to them and listen to their concerns, and they're supposed to work it out together for the betterment of all Canadians.
Well, and this is the thing, and there's conflicting reports all over the place. Some of these MPs that are really unhappy with Trudeau think it's a majority. Some don't think it's a majority, but here's the thing, it doesn't have to be a majority. The only thing that matters is, do at least 16 of these Liberal MPs, do they really want to be re-elected badly enough that they would vote against the Liberal government in a confidence vote?
That's all is needed. I think it's even less now that they won Toronto St. Paul's. I think it might be 15. And that's assuming that all the Conservatives, all the Bloc, all the Independents and the Green Party vote down this government.
So that's going to be the question, right? And the next scheduled confidence vote that we know of is going to be the fall economic statement. So it's possible that some people could just really have enough. But this is the thing. The scandals aren't dying down for Justin Trudeau.
No, they're picking up.
Yeah, they're accelerating.
Like, as if that was even possible because they have so many already. They're just not slowing down. I mean, Ryan and I have been sitting here like just poring over articles after articles and video after video, all this footage of all these new scandals. And usually summertime is slower because they're not in Ottawa. So you would think, they're just doing the barbecue circuit and they're just talking to constituents and having a good time. No, it's really bad right now.
Well, and it's going to be really interesting to see how the summer plays out because, Trudeau picked the worst move possible, which is to let these MPs just go on the barbecue circuit and get hammered by their constituents. And they're not going to have a good message to say, well, we're going to work hard to deliver for you. And people are going to be like, shut up.
Well, and that's exactly right. If these MPs go and do the barbecue circuit and they're talking to their constituents and they're meeting with their constituents over the summer in the office, and all they're hearing is how Justin Trudeau is doing a bad job. Justin Trudeau is ruining this country.
I'm not going to vote for you.
I'm not going to vote for you again. You're going to lose your seat, etc., etc. These guys are going to go back to Ottawa in September and they're going to be bitter. They're going to be angry. Do you think they're going to want to vote confidence in Justin Trudeau?
And that's going to be the magical question, right? It's how much do you want your job? How bitter are you that your boss threw the entire caucus under the bus over the summer, and he would rather take his vacation and skirt around the country rather than actually meet with his team and listen to their concerns, which they've been begging for.
And try to fix these issues that are within the party. I mean, we've been saying it for a while because we've kind of heard it from insiders that there is unrest within the Liberal Party, and it's finally out in the public eye, and we can all see it.
Yeah, there's another quote from that article that says that there's a reckoning going on in this party, and it hasn't stopped. And you're now having, really vocal people that used to be liberals. There was one video that we were contemplating putting into an episode where a previous MP recently wrote an autobiography and basically called Justin Trudeau a piece of garbage and that he's embarrassed the whole country. Former Liberal MP, former Liberal minister.
He's not wrong.
But this is the thing that's surprising is there's more and more people that are publicly putting up their hands and saying enough is enough, and it's not anybody from the Conservative side. So things are not going away for Trudeau, and he's just hoping that they will.
But it's going to get worse over the summer. Again, these MPs are going to hear about how they're going to lose their jobs because of Justin Trudeau. And if you're one of these MPs hearing that, for me, I'm kind of vindictive. I would absolutely vote non-confidence with the Conservatives because, if I'm going to be out of a job anyways, I'm taking you down with me.